3, 2, 1. Boom. Episode 6. Here we go. Welcome to Spacetalk again. I'm Yusaki, and today we have our guest. Why not introduce yourself a little bit?
Hello. My name's Kuzi. I'm a intergalactic bounty hunter VTuber. I debuted in February of this year, and I guess I joined the VTube community probably around this time last year. So that's me.
That was quite a recent debut. This year you're talking about 2023, right?
Yeah, 2023.
That was like that was just like 2 months ago, I think. Barely
February
2 months
3rd.
ago. So after 1 year of like VTubing, you decided to debut.
Yeah, so I started streaming. I was a PNG tuber.
Right. So you didn't
from
have
like
your camera
March
on for like a
March
year.
to July. Yeah, so March to July, I was pretty much just exclusively on Twitter, being like, I started out with like an icon, like I didn't even have a face.
Yeah, just
And I
started
was
as
like,
everyone else, like a V-tweeter.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, let me tweet some funny things, let me hop on some trends and stuff like that. And then
Of course. Man.
July, I think it was July, I got like a PNG model kind of thing, like a reactive PNG. And from July to February, I was pretty much exclusively just PNG tuber.
This, because I had quite a different experience. I mean, of course, I was like, sort of like an OG indie, I don't know, going into the VTuber scene compared to some of the newcomers. I definitely see a difference in how we go into this, how I went into this, and how they went into this, and you two. We didn't have such a formula back in the days. I mean, you go on Twitter and you follow trends. You know what to do. You join the VTuber community. You get welcomed. I mean, I didn't really know anything going into Twitter. I was pretty much like a fresh slate. Like I had to learn. Like as I said in previous episode, like the first time I discovered there are VTubers on Twitter, I was excited. You know, it's not like as well established community like it is now.
Yeah, definitely. I'm pretty grateful with that the community was at the point that it was when I started, because I had a lot of resources to jump into.
Yeah, that's a crazy amount of resources. Like I'm talking about way more resources. Of course, we had resources back in the days, but back in the days, at least like I'm a boomer. I just started like I think a year before you, if we're talking about you, but
yeah,
like I had to. I guess there were like way less VTubers than we have now.
Sure, definitely.
Like, it was an explosion, right, in the industry. Back in the day, someone someone told me that like you better start it now. Like when I was started, you better start it now if you want to make a name. Otherwise, it's gonna be saturated, and it is pretty much saturated. It's not like you can't make a name now. You can make a name anytime, even 2 years from now. But it's just the space is way more saturated. You gotta work harder to stand out. You know, VTubers aren't this fresh new thing anymore. You know, it's kind of becoming the norm.
Yeah, it's not enough to just be a VTuber anymore, right? Because there was a point in time where that was a thing, right? Where you could just be a VTuber, and then people will you just gain an audience from that. But now it's like you kind of have to have a thing, I guess, or you have to have a super compelling model, or I don't know. There's a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Well, either way, you gotta have something. I mean, that's partially why I created this podcast, right? Is to have something. It's like establishing a foundation that I can build upon. I guess there are two sides that I wanted to talk about. Like oversaturated space. We have a lot of mediocre, average VTubers saturated in space, but also we have seen a lot of high quality ones. It's pretty insane. I mean, with the booming of all the big and just like big core VTubers emerging, working with all kinds of artists, it's honestly great to see. It's an overall net increase in quality. It's not bad.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. It's like the amount of times I go onto Twitter and see just the most amazing models. I'm like how do people find themselves in that situation, right?
Yeah, absolutely. All right. I mean, I barely got any sleep. I got like 2 hours of sleep and waking up to catch this podcast. I mean, we met each other on Twitter. That was actually one of the few occasions where we got a legit collab off Twitter. That was very good to see. I mean, I forgot exactly what it was, but it was like a tweet regarding like no, it was one of those interactive tweets that you tweeted, right? Like VTuber support chain or something like that. Man, those have been blowing up recently.
They do well. They do well. Yeah, and I tend not to do them a lot because, you know,
you gotta put a lot of effort into it.
Yeah, I see the value in them, but I don't want my page to just
Twitter
be,
feed to get flooded like, with that.
Yeah. Like I do them once every, I don't know, 5 or 6 months maybe.
Ooh, yeah.
It's like, you know, it's not something that I want to build like a brand upon, just doing like interaction tweets. But every once in a while, I think they definitely, you know, good things come from them, like we see here pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. This is awesome. Yeah, but you remind me of those people who just have absolutely, like, their whole Twitter account is about those supportive tweets. Like, what the heck? It's I've seen VTubers who I've interacted with. I mean, we're not close at all. I've just interacted with some of their interacting tweets, like support chains, not knowing that they frequently post those things, and that's become like the face of their page. Like, what's the point of that? Oh, you want to collab? You want to make friends? You know, that's one tweet. But the next tweet, oh, there's like a slightly different phrasing of that. Oh, you want to become friends? You know.
Yeah,
want to collab? I want to collab with you. Like, what's the point?
You
like,
kind of start to question the
authenticity.
Authenticity. Yeah, I've seen if they're genuine about it, because if you see them doing it on a weekly basis, it's like, okay,
what
like,
are you even here for, right? Like, to actually make friends or to gain attractions.
Exactly,
right?
Exactly.
Not to mention those follow baiting ones where you literally see, I mean, it claims, oh, I'm going to follow every single one of y'all, and you see a larger number in the replies than their following amount.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but
sometimes.
Kuzi had an awesome supporting chain. I just interacted down below, and he responded, oh, another space VTuber. Like, oh, another space VTuber. That's neat. And I just hopped into DM. That's usually how it starts. And I mean,
we're a rare breed.
Yeah, quite. Like, so I was like, I've seen other space VTubers too, and when I see them, it's really refreshing every time. You don't see them, you know, an awful lot in the VTuber space. Yeah, but yeah, you were pretty friendly and welcome in VTuber, and I was just like, I don't typically just approach people and be like, oh, you wanna do my podcast? I mean, I never do that. I was like, I even forgot how it started, but quickly we just hit up. You said, oh, awesome, I want to do this, and here we are.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I a big part of, I guess, my personality is I tend to be very easy to talk to, or I don't shy away from speaking to new people.
That is so awesome. Like, I definitely feel that talking to you right now.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just you know, you can usually tell straight away if you don't, you know, hit it off with someone, and if it starts to feel awkward, you know, I think you'll know. But for the most part, everyone I've talked to, especially in the kind of this space that we're in, the VTuber space, everyone's been super welcoming, and yeah, it's been super easy to just, you know, hit someone up and be like, oh, hey, like, yeah, you know, I like your lore, or I like I like what you do, blah blah blah. So it's to me it seems like a really easy thing to do, but I know that doesn't come easy to a lot of people. So
that is really awesome to hear, given the sheer amount of negativity that exists in the space.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, I'm happy that, like, you've so far had a good impression on our community, the VTubing community, coming into it, and wow, it's really awesome getting. I mean, the amount of interactions you've gotten versus the amount I've gotten, like, it's a 9-day difference. I mean, I barely gotten any. Like, I mostly just waited and for the past 2 years just to have an opportunity or have an idea that I can work on to really start to build up my brand, and this is like Spacetalk is my start. So I wasn't I mean, I tried streaming. I streamed a year ago. Was building up a community. It was pretty sweet, but definitely I didn't do as much socializing, networking as I do today. Trying to get the podcast started, and it is really awesome getting to know a lot of people, and you see the numbers going up too. And you grow together too. Where are you?
Where am I? I'm on my spaceship.
Yeah, that looks quite awesome. It's like
this is
like your room.
This is my little my little current home. I would say I'm stuck here.
Yeah, same. Quite
just
quite literally.
Without going into too much trouble, I did get into a bit of trouble on a contract. You know, bounty hunting is
right, bounty hunter.
Could be a dangerous lifestyle. But yeah, as a result, my ship is currently I guess prone to warping to just random places. So
damn. Well, I'm just a boring ship orbiting Earth.
Yeah, you can see some of my guns.
Yeah, I saw them
on the walls. It's my weapon of choice.
Yeah, I don't know anything about guns. I mean, I've seen some in video games. I play Valorant. I don't know if you play Valorant. Yeah, that's quite an awesome looking. Not even the gun, but the whole ship. I mean, it looks like a room. It looks like a home, well designed.
I tried to make it a little bit homey. You know, I mean, the ship was kind of a hunk of junk when I got it first, but
yeah, and like any other
upgrading and
ship, it also has the necessary sci-fi kind of feel to it.
Yeah,
definitely.
Of course,
love that.
Yeah.
That's what
we need wires in space.
Damn.
We need a lot of wires.
Whew. Space VTubers. Man, I don't know. Are you interested in rockets?
Yeah. I mean, definitely. Just, I mean, in what sense, really? Just the technology.
Yeah, like the technology that we're using is quite different from the ones that they're using on Earth, though.
Yeah, they definitely have a more prehistoric approach for sure.
Well, yeah, I mean they're continuing the tradition. I mean, pretty much all engines, no matter how advanced they are kind of based on the same principle.
For sure.
Still waiting on the gravity propulsion system. Hopefully one day.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, there's some sightings that have been documented. I don't know how accurate, but they demonstrate this sort of gravity-based propulsion system where it's not a push and pull. Obeying the Newton principles. It's like completely different, and they argue that it's a real thing that we've witnessed, and it's certainly possible to build it. Like I don't know, like we'll see.
Yeah,
that seems really far stretched from what they have right now.
Definitely, it's a pretty big leap, but
yeah, it's gonna change the world.
Wishing them the best. Definitely.
So you've been streaming on Twitch. How's the experience so far?
I love it. Yeah.
Newly debuted YouTuber.
Yeah, I stream 4 days a week.
Wow, that's holy shit. That's a lot of
streams. For about 4 hours.
4 hours.
4 hours, 4 times a week. Oof. Yeah. That's my current schedule. That's my current schedule.
Yeah. I guess. I guess you could be pretty free to do that, being stranded on like weird planets, on the ship.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, in my free time, for sure. Bounty hunting takes up the rest of my week.
Well, that is a busy schedule you live.
So it gets a lot. It gets a lot. But I tend to use my streams as kind of a relaxation, a wind down from everyday life, And luckily, the community that I've built so far have been super supportive in kind of just going with the flow and seeing, being okay with
The
whatever I
community
play.
aspect of it is certainly very sweet. I mean, I used to have activities with the community. We used to chat. I mean, because I left them for like a year, so I'm trying to revive it right now. We used to have like anime night and stuff. It was really sweet. And
that's nice.
When I stream, they show up. You definitely have a way bigger community than I used to have. Like you've been streaming way longer and have a way proper setup and schedule and stuff. Man, imagine having to schedule.
Yeah, I mean, so with my schedule is kind of weird because I list games that I'm going to play, and then on the day I'm like, I kind of want to play something else. Like, and that's the thing with the variety streaming. I bounce around game to game like absolute crazy. So it's a real miracle when I actually finish a game on stream.
Finishing game is
an
one of those
achievement.
Story-driven ones, I assume.
Yeah. I think a lot of my streams are focused on, story-driven, just single-player stuff. I don't tend to do a lot of multiplayer collabs. There's one once in a blue moon I would collab with, a couple of YouTuber friends, but it's mainly kind of me and my community kind of experiencing, I mean, right now we're going through the Yakuza series. We've played Resident Evil, Kingdom Hearts, a lot of that stuff. So
I see some single player games. Well, I mean, you didn't shy away from collabs when I asked you on Twitter. That's really kind.
Yeah, I mean, I'm totally down. If people ask, I'd be down.
Yeah.
I am just usually not one to reach out for collabs.
I see. I see the cat game. One of my friends streamed that game as well. I'm just having your Twitch page pulled up.
That was the dog version.
The dog version. Oh, there's different versions. I didn't even know that.
They have two versions of that game. One with cats and one with dogs.
Wow. That's funny. So this is your Twitch page. Dude, like 1K, that is a lot. Okay, that's
recent.
a lot.
It's recent. We just recently hit that.
Congratulations. Damn.
Thank you.
Yeah. I guess before debuting, where you were at? Where you were at before debuting?
That's tough. I want to say maybe around 500, 550, maybe.
Wow. So you gained like 500 in the last 2 months.
Yeah. Debut is kind of crazy. Yeah. There's been a lot of new people stopping by, and it's been really nice to see. Just different people coming from it. It's I think my favorite thing to hear is when people say, "Oh, I found you on through my Twitch recommendations." I was like, "What?"
Wow.
That's a thing that's starting to happen. That's really kind of interesting. That's
Twitch.
Cool.
I see you. Okay. That must be very surprising to hear. I mean, Twitch recommendations, or even front page. I mean, front page is
a dream.
Sometimes you do see a lot of not small streamer, but medium-sized streamers. Certainly not big streamers getting front paged. Very refreshing to see. Sometimes you even see VTubers getting front paged. I think I've seen that once or something. I don't know. But wow, you could definitely do a lot by doing a debut. I mean, hyping up on Twitter, within your own community, and I don't even know. I don't do that kind of format like debut.
Yeah,
I didn't have a debut.
I was kind of. Yeah, I was once again. I had the community, the VTuber community, kind of. I had a bunch of just stuff a bunch of resources to look into in terms of I didn't even know what a debut was. I don't what is a debut? How do I run a debut? Kind of that thing. So when I finally looked into that stuff,
we have this debut thing. How does it even make sense?
Yeah,
we're not idols. We're just streamers. When do you see a streamer debut? Right?
You can imagine just a non-VTuber trying to do a debut. It seems very strange, right?
Yeah, this is definitely a niche kind of tradition that we have as VTubers, and we're still we're doing it still, and I don't know.
Yeah.
It's probably gonna last forever. I don't know. Like it doesn't make sense on paper, but I'm curious now. Like, who was the first, and when was it? Like the first VTuber who debuted? Because
Oh yeah, I have no idea. Like, did it come from the corporate?
Yeah,
was it a
exactly.
corporate side thing, or was it?
or
Was
was
it
it
an
even
indie
before
thing?
that, right? Or like, did they adopt it from somewhere, from someone? Or
That's very
did the
interesting.
corpse? Because it makes sense for them to do debuts, like they're idols and stuff. They're like artists.
Yeah,
even
because
like
I think that's
Hololive.
where I first. That's where I first heard of debut. You know, like Ichisanji and Hololive kind of. They announce their talents and they're like, oh, their first stream is this date, and then they go
I
through
was like,
all
damn,
of their
you could plan
little
such
slides.
a thing, and you can create such
Yeah.
an impact. You can build up to this point, and then boom, you can have a huge amount of attractions
Definitely
on one
yeah.
day. Yeah. How was your debut? What did you do?
Oh, it was really it was much better than I expected.
Oh, nice. That's
I
always
always not expect the worst, but I always kind of don't get my hopes up for when
No,
I
I get
host
it,
events because I'm like, you know, so I was like, oh, if 20 I'm like, if 20 people show up, then that'd be good.
20 is a not large number.
Yeah, I
20
was
20 is,
like, okay,
amazing.
that's aiming for high, and then I ended. I think highest viewer count was like 60, 70 for debut,
Sheesh.
and I was
Wow.
like, what? Like,
Congrats.
that's crazy.
That
But we
is
basically,
indeed crazy.
yeah, I basically just went through like, just I had a little mini slideshow prepared, going through, you know, a little bit of info about who I was, like what
some of the
games I play, what music, you know, anime, TV shows, that kind of stuff. Just a little slideshow about me, and then I had like a little Q&A. And then I think I played a bit of Hi-Fi Rush, that music action adventure game. It was a really chill time.
I think this is where, you know, the power of the debut comes in. You really see how that makes a difference, right? Like, even some of the larger streamers don't get 60 consecutive viewers on average.
Yeah.
And that
It was
really
a shock.
creates a
It was
spike.
definitely a shock. Of course, the thing with debuts is you don't keep that momentum. You may keep some of it, like, you know, in my case, it's hard to deny that I haven't grown since debut because the numbers are there. But
Absolutely.
but there's people who debut and then somehow just lose a lot of that momentum.
Absolutely.
Either by not streaming or I don't know, just something happens and they kind of lose that momentum. But
Yeah, you always got to keep the consistency.
yeah, definitely.
What are some of the... I know you play games, but you also... I think you also started singing at some point. I think you tried singing.
Yeah, so I've been singing a long time. Probably since 4 or 5. I've never really had the courage to get anything out there, you know, like on the internet. I didn't really want to like post anything. But then with VTubing, a lot of people sing, and a lot of people you know, do covers, like produce their own covers and produce original songs. And I'm like, maybe I can do that. Maybe I can, you know, try my hand at releasing stuff. So I think the end of last year, November, I released my first song cover on YouTube, and in February or March, I think March of this year, I released my second cover. And then I also did a bunch of little mini covers for a Twitter trend called Singing March, which was pretty much posting a cover every day, or mostly every day in my case, on Twitter. So one of my debut goals was actually to post 5 like fully produced covers this year, and I think I'm at 1 this year, but 2 in total. So we've got 4 more to produce for this year. Oh, 1 second. I can't hear you. I don't know if that's on.
Holy shit.
You're muted.
Anyways.
There we
you're
go.
producing covers? Yeah. I was talking about. That's a fully that's a fully packed. That was hilarious. It does never happen for the record.
That's all good.
On the podcast. So that was the first time. I guess you could be glad to have witnessed that. No. But
covers. They've been super fun to learn about that side. You know, like mixing covers and meeting people who mix professionally. It's been really interesting to interact with those people and, you know, even try my hand at mixing my own stuff as well. It's
been like a great phenomenon to see those VTubers, because VTuber ties so closely with cover songs. I mean, that's the thing that VTubers do, no matter if they can do it or not. No matter if they can't sing or not, they always do covers. It's the one thing that VTubers do. But especially recent years, there have been great resources online, and people have been sharing, like some experienced mixers been sharing some tips and stuff, and how well the internet works. Many VTubers have been really just starting to learn mixing, and some even go deeper into doing it seriously. And they've been producing some great results, and it is really great to see. You know, this self-learning kind of aspect to it, and how you can take internet as a great resource. And I imagine you've been doing the same thing. And damn, that's a great lineup. 5 covers this year. I hope
hopefully
you do it.
Yeah. Cover number 3 is coming hopefully soon. I have the song chosen. I have it recorded. I just gotta make sure to send it to some people to make me sound good.
Oh, okay. So you're still having some experienced mixers to help with it.
Yeah.
Do you also do the fancy music video?
I'm still very new to mixing myself, so I don't trust myself to release. You know, if I'm putting something out on YouTube or whatever, with, like you mentioned, a fancy music video or a lyric video or something, I'd like that to be hopefully produced by someone who knows how to mix.
Absolutely. Because I know someone who just makes everything themselves. Right. Great. I respect that. But like when you want to make something legit, when you want to make something that stands out, that has great quality, you really got to hand those to the professionals, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Wait, is it? Do you know if your covers, I don't know, are copyrighted?
I think potentially. Yeah, I think both of them use instrumentals that are that would probably be flagged with copyright.
Okay,
I think
then
the second one.
I will not play it then.
They're both on YouTube if you do want to watch them in your spare time. But
at least with sounds. But here's one of the covers. I think I muted it for that purpose.
Yeah, that was the first time I got a little lyric video commissioned, which was really fun.
Oh, nice. Seeing holding Oscar.
Yeah, that's an Owl City song. So very, very, very cool. Very new experience to get something produced by people who know what they're doing.
How nice is it? Like going into VTuber scene, like all those aspects: streaming, having a personality, commissioning stuff for your cover, having covers on your channel. It all feels awesome. And it's I guess it's the content creators, like the content creator that's within us that gets satisfied by those things. I don't know. It's very satisfying. That's why we do it, I guess.
Yeah, it's really nice to, when you've made something, you can look back on it and it's like on the internet for like you can start building up like a repertoire of stuff that you've done. Whether that's making a highly edited YouTube video about a video game you played or a cover song or something. It's so nice to have that kind of inventory or that backlog of just content that you're like, hey, I made this. That's really cool.
Yeah, and a little bonus kind of, I don't know, doctrine, I don't know, is like the numbers. You see the numbers go up, and that makes you motivates you even more. Dopamine, yeah, exactly. But definitely don't. That is not the only thing you should care about. right? Definitely just do it because
Absolutely.
of the passion that you have. Do it because you love it. Always.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn, you mentioned you've been singing for a long time. I've only recently gotten to singing like half a year ago, and I've been really serious about it. I can't wait to hear some of your covers. I can't play it here, I guess.
Yeah, it's because I mean I started like I was entering just like local town talent shows, like just completely like you're nothing, like like my parents were like, oh, you should maybe enter this. I'm like, 5 years old, I didn't know what I was doing, so I was like, okay, and then yeah. So it was like whatever, and then I think around when I was like maybe 9 or 10, I started taking like actual like singing, like
whoa, so you've been like properly trained.
Singing
Wow.
exams. I did probably 10 years of music.
10 years. God damn it.
Yeah, so you go through like preliminary, elementary, primary, and then grades 1 through 8. I think it is. I think that's how they do it. And then once you pass grade 8, it's like you can do one more exam to be like licensed to teach people how to sing, like
Whoa. Wait, so you're
thing.
actually
So-
like full on serious about singing. You're
I
like
have-
a legit
I-
singer.
It was my whole upbringing, I guess. So there was a point, later on, like after finishing like high school and stuff, I stopped, I stopped caring so much about it. But
Whoa.
ever since becoming a VTuber, I've been like super like I can do this again, I can.
That is interesting. Like at some point, after a decade of properly training and singing, you kind of given up.
Yeah, it was. I don't think it was entirely given up, but a lot of other real world aspects came into play. Like, oh, I need to start looking for a job, and like studying for exams and all this stuff, and it kind of took a backseat in my life, I guess. Up until VTubing, I was like, wow, people are just releasing stuff like. I see VTubers releasing covers every month or two, and it's like, whoa, I
really feel you, because like, yeah, you see all those people doing this thing that I've been properly trained for a decade, and then now I'm not doing it.
Yeah,
right. Like, what? This is not fair. I need to start doing it right now, right?
Yeah, and the most important thing is that the voice is a muscle, right? So if it's out of practice, you're gonna know, and you're gonna have to. Retrain that muscle is exactly like it's I usually use the term, it's just like lifting weights, because
that's a good analogy.
if you start lifting weights and you start building that muscle and then you stop and then you try to lift something heavy, you're like, oh well, it's gonna be hard, it's gonna be a hard start, you're gonna have to start slow and build up that that muscle again. So it's the exact same with singing. So that's what I've been trying to do for the past few months, or 6 months to a year.
Damn.
Is kind of
my question to you
it.
is, how much of those 10 years of muscles were you able to get back in the past few months?
Yeah, it's tough. A lot of it is like technique based. I think breathing is a big part of.
Yeah, I just learned the concept of breath control the other day.
Yeah,
it's like a whole thing that you need to, like, people don't realize. I didn't realize, because I didn't know how to sing properly. I didn't have training. It's about, like, I don't know, controlling your whole body. It's not only like this part, the upper part, like the vocal cord. It's about how, like, it even extends down to your abdomen.
Posture,
how you have to
just
relax your abdomen, and then breathe in. While you breathe in, your abdomen has to relax. It was like kind of counterintuitive, but once you get that, it like you get that feel, and you have to like once you start singing, start exhaling, you need to, I don't know, exert power in the muscles to sort of constrain it, so like the air comes out slower and more steadily, I guess, as you have more power throughout. It's like a whole a whole experience that I didn't even know of, that you have to kind of get trained in. Damn.
Yeah, and it's something that takes a little bit of time to get back. That I guess you fall into a rhythm of it, and once you start doing it properly again, you're like, oh, I know how to do this. But it takes a little bit to kind of re-trick your brain into like muscle memory, like literal muscle memory, I guess.
Absolutely, it's all about the muscles. The muscles that control your everything in your body that contributes to a great singing voice. Damn.
Exactly.
Hopefully you can give me some tips and pointers. I don't know. I'm pretty serious about singing. Like, I really want to sound good.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to sing
definitely.
properly. But and I'm trying to make a cover. I don't know. In the near future, because kind of hit up with, I think my second guest, and we've discussed about doing a duet, and that's been something I really wanted to do. And
it's gonna be fun to hear.
Don't have a solid voice. You know, I don't have a trained voice, so hopefully I don't sound terrible. Do you always have to tune your vocal in covers, or are you great at pitch control that you don't even bother at all?
There's a level, like if you're fully producing a cover, you kind of want to, you kind of need to, not need to, but you'd want to use some level of vocal correction. Even if you are good at hitting the notes, just the kind of sound that the pitch correction gives you is a nice, it gives you that nice professional feeling.
Yeah, it definitely makes it inhuman.
Yeah, because if you're if you're singing bad and you're using pitch correction, you're gonna notice, like, people are gonna notice that that you're using.
But I gotta say though, like, there's some singers who are not great at pitch control, sound great in cover songs.
Yeah,
because I learned this because I used to just look at the covers and I go, they have a great singing voice, and then I go onto their karaoke live streams. That's when I really get to hear their real voice. I was like, oh, that's how it is. Okay, I see. You know, so pitch correction. I mean, vocal correction.
It works. Yeah, it can work magic if someone knows how to do it properly. Yeah, because you really get that pitch correction. It kind of has to be manually kind of
so
done.
Like until like years later when AI gets to a mature level, so no mixers, will have a job. Well, that's in the future. I don't want to get tuned. I don't know. Like it's probably a problematic thought, but like I want to sound authentic. I don't want to just post a cover and have people guess if I can hit the pitch or not. So I just rather not have it tuned. Just to
there is methods of it. I think at least in my experience, if you have good pitch correction, or if you have good pitch control, you're not really gonna hear it too much in the pitch correction. Plus, you can also
the thing is, you have to know,
like, you have
to note that it's tuned, or. But okay, like something with pitch correction is always going to sound perfect. It's always going to sound professional and perfect.
Yeah.
So like, it's not about being able to tell if the person has good pitch control or not. It's being able to tell if it was tuned or not. I guess. Yeah. Because do you get me? Like, it's.
No, totally. Yeah, you want that kind of authentic feel. I mean, there is the auto-tune program I use has a weird slider on it that you can pull back, and you can actually slow down the pitch correction.
Oh yeah, like
to give
that's
it a more authentic
feature. Yeah, I was just like, I don't want like down in my credits be like tuning, by
yeah. Sure.
Cause like
I get that.
I'd rather like hit the notes than not hitting it perfectly and then have it tuned later. But like I totally can hear the difference between hitting the notes and then have it tuned. It's like different because we are not machines. We do not produce perfect pitches.
Exactly.
Do you have perfect pitch?
Yeah, it's
Wait, do you have perfect
you
pitch?
can definitely tell. No,
okay.
I don't. I miss notes all the time. But again, it's practice.
Yeah.
Like, I think I have. You could probably tell. I think because I did upload like an archived karaoke stream on my YouTube as well. And if you compare that to my covers, you can tell. There's gonna be some discrepancies in there.
I see.
So.
Yeah. Like
But yeah,
I
perfect
tried
pitch
not
is
to
hard to achieve.
have yeah, I try not to have that discrepancy. Like I try to practice just singing well, so I like there's not a huge difference between the cover and like live singing. Because
Yeah.
there's a future thing that I want to do is about live singing. I kind of mentioned it before, but I just want to invite people on that can sing really well to sing live. So it's kind of like the first take, but done live. You know. So for that, I gotta really get my voice up. Like I don't sound great. I need to sound great for that. So working on it. There's what songs do you usually sing? English songs or Japanese songs?
The covers I've done so far are all English.
Okay.
I do want to do some Japanese stuff. Just it interests me. The fact that it would test my kind of ability to produce something like that is really interesting to me. So yeah, I definitely see myself doing at least one or two Japanese covers in the future for sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you're the kind of VTuber who's like ingrained in the Japanese culture, who like is not a weeb, but like loves anime, loves watching Japanese stuff.
I mean,
the culture, enjoys the culture.
I
loves listening to
really,
Japanese music.
yeah. I'm not huge into anime. I watch a few here and there, but it's not a regular thing I do. I'd probably watch like, I don't know, maybe 10 shows a year or something like that.
That's not bad.
But the culture side of things is really interesting to me. Like I watch a lot of like Japanese travel channels on YouTube and all
those
that
are
stuff.
Nice. Do you know Chris?
Yeah,
Chris
yeah.
Abroad?
I watch Chris Broad. I watch Charlotte in Japan. You know, those people are my main kind of.
Oh, nice.
people
okay.
for.
Tell me you love Trash Taste.
Oh yeah, of course.
Oh
yeah.
shit, yeah, let's go.
Yeah,
Damn,
absolutely.
they kind of like inspired me to do this thing, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I think the first, I guess Joey was the first one I found out of those three.
Definitely.
And
gotten to know more of the boys. I'm starting to like some of the boys like Connor and
yeah, I mean Connor's he's been doing great on Twitch as well.
How am I blanking
insane. All of his you know, he did his cycle-a-thon.
Oh my gosh, those are crazy. I would never, I can never imagine doing that. Like, especially I'm a lazy ass just sitting in my studio like. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Connor's great. Yeah. They quite literally like motivated me to do this podcast. I mean, watching them.
That's awesome.
Like months before.
That's really cool.
Making it a reality, and now we're here, and hopefully, this will be something that counts.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's really cool.
Damn, keep going back to the first topic. I don't know, you mentioned singing. I feel like singing is like it's such a big part of your life that it feels kind of shocking that you didn't make like a big brand of yours. It's like you didn't brand yourself as like a V singer or something, but like it feels like someone who with such experience will definitely want to do that, you know?
Yeah, I think when it comes down to that, I didn't want to brand myself as a V singer, not knowing anything about the V singer community, right? I think,
but like you've literally been like more experienced than most people there, you know?
Yeah, I guess it's more of a I want to have, you know, I guess a content library of you know, songs and covers before I, you know, potentially use that label. But
yeah, I really respect that. Really respect that. Not going in as okay, understand that I've had enough experience that I could totally brand myself as this, but you truly want to get down to some like content creation level of stuff, like get experience.
Yeah,
in those
I also
before.
I also don't want people to see me just as a singer, you know, especially when the majority of my live content is video games and I guess just personality based stuff.
It's very interesting. What got you, because you were a singer before, but what got you into the content creation and gaming side of things?
Ooh, that's interesting. I was streaming for about streaming for about 5 years before going into
Okay,
or
I see.
into VTubing. I did Twitch, and I did quite a bit of YouTube content as well. Specifically stuff like game reviews and just yeah, I'm someone who has really close ties to the video game industry, and I've always been a very big kind of I've always loved the gaming industry, everything about it, you know, conventions and just always kept up with what every developer's doing and, you know, all that stuff. So
Ever want to go into it?
huh?
Get game industry.
Oh, so I mean, I do work in the game industry. It was my
Whoa.
profession.
Whoa. Okay. No,
in-
that's
I won't go into too many specifics, but yeah, video game marketing is what I do for a publisher.
Wow.
So
I feel like this is such like a big part of your personality that like we have yet to explore. I mean, you just brought it up, but like before that, I didn't know. I mean, that's like so closely tied to what you do here.
yeah, definitely. I
YouTubing,
mean,
like-
it's yeah, it is something that. So I went to college for video game design, but I hated it. I just was terrible at it. 3D modeling, 3D animation, level design, I just couldn't do it. So I basically told my professor, I was like, yo, I'm gonna drop out. You know, I'm gonna be like, I can't. I don't think this side of the industry is for
Suits
me.
you. Yeah.
And pretty much from then, I honed pretty deeply into community management. You know, I started very simply modding for Twitch streamers, organizing Discords. I joined Discord like super early, like as soon as it launched, and I was pretty much just like
when was that?
2015, or late 2015. I
Wait,
think.
Discord only had been existing for. This can't be true. This can't possibly
Yeah,
be
Discord
true.
launched in 2015, August, I think.
Wait, how? It's only been 8 years. I mean,
8
like
years since Discord launched.
wow. I thought it's been forever. Okay, now.
So yeah, I basically reached out to a bunch of like indie developers. I was like, hey, I know Discord pretty well. I can you know organize a Discord server for you.
For your
And
game.
That's how that's how I landed my first job in the industry. I was
Oh
I was
my
hired
god.
by an indie developer.
Wow, kudos.
To
Wow.
run. I think I was a Discord moderator for them for like 2 years, and then they were like, "Hey, we have a position open. Do you want it?" I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." So
Congrats. wow, what a big
it was
win.
2019, I think. 2019 was when I first got my first industry job, and then I've been at my current job for around a year.
Damn.
Working for a.
This
for a
is
video
like the
game
perfect
publisher.
demonstration of the power of internet. Like the internet could literally get your job. I mean, yeah, it's
Oh yeah,
we have
100%.
full-time
Yeah,
streamers now, but like Discord literally got you your job in the industry. How cool is that, man?
Yeah, I've been working from home since 2019, so it's crazy. So I do that in my free time, and then stream pretty much the rest of the time.
Dude, that sounds badass. Look what you just said. You do your full-time job in your free time.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like imagine
Yeah, my full-time job is my free time.
like
and
how
then-
many people would be jealous of the position you're in. I mean, you worked for it, right? Like, but like, yeah,
Yeah,
you're in such a good position.
It's interesting. Definitely. Yeah.
Oh, you got
It's
quite
cool.
quite a extensive background here. I didn't, realize I'm gonna dig so much up, like game industry.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
you
cool.
game as a VTuber, but you also work in the game industry. Like, what's the next step, sort of? Have you thought of any?
I don't know. So I've been doing like video game marketing for like 7 years, 8 years. So I don't know. I might lean into something like becoming a producer or something. It seems like the next logical step. But
Ooh, like a game or a project?
yeah, video game
game.
producer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Producers are video game producers are pretty much like what you do in marketing, but more internal than dealing with customers. You're dealing with,
Okay, I see.
like the dev team and stuff like that. So, but I'm hoping that VTubing works out. that's my main focus, I think.
Oh, this is your main focus right now.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, apart from work gives me a paycheck, but I think where my passion lies is definitely VTubing for sure.
Gosh, I'm so happy every time I hear someone says that, because I mean, I understand this could be just a hobby for some people, but I've met so many VTubers that their main passion is VTubing and they really want to go full time in the future. Because I mean, I'm the same.
Yeah.
Like this is what I do, because like I live on the spaceship. I do music. Did you know I do music? I produce music, and I have this podcast now. Like I'm gonna keep doing this. This is what I do. But like that's why I'm very happy seeing a lot of people kind of have the same pursuit. It's just pursue YouTubing and streaming like full time as their main passion. And you too.
Definitely.
Seems like it. And we're all gonna like expand forward from here. So exciting journeys, and there are a lot of us.
Cool.
There are a lot of us. Really excited to see what we're gonna do, like what kind of impact we're gonna create in the world. Because we've only been existing for years now, and it takes like a decade to make an impact. But like the industry has just started. Like VTubing industry has just started. It's not even a decade, right? Since it started. Yeah, and like VTubers are slowly going into the mainstream media as well. Like that's slowly, just a tiny little bit, taking baby steps. But it's gonna be really exciting to see what it's gonna do next.
Definitely. Yeah, it's like you said, it's still a very young industry. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing
what you're
how it
in, which is
evolves.
game industry, which has been there forever.
Yeah, definitely.
What?
It's
I know you're. I don't like you're not. It's you shouldn't share too much detail from what like your work, but I just think it's like people would want would find it very meaningful, like the sort of experiences you get from working in this industry, because it's a very fascinating industry. I mean, probably not managing specifically, but just the gaming industry. I assume that's something that many people want to pursue, or just have an interest in. So I don't know, like, is there any like shareable experiences that won't get you in trouble that you can sort of discuss? I don't know.
For people who want to get into the industry?
Well, just sort of the experience you had and like what you've learned going into it, like some sort of expectations you had, or stuff that went against your expectations.
Yeah, so I mean, I focus on community management and social media. That's what I do in the industry. So
well, that should help you a lot on VTubing then. That's why you got 1,000 in no time. Did it help a lot?
I guess that's it definitely made me approach social media in a different way. I've learned quite a bit in terms of just analytics and a bunch of stuff like that when it comes to video game marketing. There's a lot that goes into how you compose a tweet, or
oh my gosh,
how you kind of
hugely need help with that. You know what, why not go through some of that later? We will go through some of that later. Yeah, go on.
But and then also community management is my main thing. So just how to build up a community and what to expect while building up that kind of community. It's crazy. In the industry you deal with communities of all sorts of sizes. I've managed Discords that are 100 people. I've managed Discords that are 200,000 people. So it's
holy shit.
It's and there's a lot that goes into it. So
whoa.
I would say a lot of what would be one thing that I learned to be very patient with people. I guess that's where my love for coming up like getting introduced to new people comes from as well, right? It's that kind of passion of talking to people, because in my position I talk to people a lot. It's like it's kind of my thing for for the industry.
Who do you
if
talk
anyone
to,
has
like
a problem
clients?
with anything,
Like
customers, players.
customers.
Yeah, so people who play the games. That's my. In community management, you'd be the main link between the dev team
Okay.
and the players. That's what a community manager does. So if there's ever a problem, whether it's someone has a bug, someone has a bit of feedback.
Yeah, so like you're the bridge
that-
between the players
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the devs, and you have to communicate.
And that also means
issues.
you're. I mean, community managers are often referred to as the meat shields of the industry, where they usually take the kind of brunt force of,
that's
of complaints and
very interesting because I think a lot of people just blame the devs. The devs are the only thing they think of. I don't know. I don't know anything about within the industry. I don't have experiences, but like as at least on the face, like when I hear people commenting about shitty games or shitty aspect of certain games, they always bring up the devs.
Yeah, and usually the quote unquote dev that they're talking about is probably a community manager whose job is to report that
Hey, there
feedback
you go, guys.
to.
That's the truth behind it.
Is probably just someone who's reporting that feedback to the actual dev team and be like, hey guys, they don't like this change or they want us to add this or something like that. So it's taught me a lot of patience. It's taught me a lot of to be kind of transparent in what you're dealing with and try to understand a problem from a player's perspective. You know,
So you have to think as a player as well, and obviously your own experiences in being a player yourself, of course.
Yeah, like when someone comes to me and they're like, "Hey, this bug completely deleted my 100-hour save," I'm like, "That sucks." Like, what are we gonna do to help? Like, I'm sure I can try and do something to help. You know, like that's when you kind of have to have a little bit of empathy and see the problem.
Okay, so like dealing with
the player's perspective,
you must have encountered that kind of case 1,000 times or something like that. Like,
100%.
Do you like if it's your first time, it totally like empathize with people. But if it's your like thousands times, like do you have the same kind of empathy, or are you just like, okay, I'm doing my job? I've seen this many times. Like I'm kind of just treating it as a case, and like there's less of a personal connection. It's like, oh, that really sucks. More like, okay, I'm gonna deal with it now. You know.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, with the smaller problems, absolutely. You kind of
or more
kind of be like, all right,
approach.
not this again, blah blah blah. Yeah, it's whatever. But if it's a big bug like that, if it's a big bug like someone losing a save file, is usually always treated with high priority and being like, okay, let's see if we can try and replicate their save file. Try and get as much details off them.
This is interesting. Like I was thinking, do you go to the length to actually? I don't know.
So
do some.
Yeah, usually if
how do I even describe it? Like you use
like
your
if someone's
dev powers to bring back stuff like artificially or something.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
sort of cheaty, but like it's reasonable.
Yeah.
Wow.
If someone's super upset with it, the approach I usually take is be like, okay, let me know how far you got, what quest were you on, or something like that, and being like, we can probably replicate a save file,
and that I think if that person happens to be a streamer, that will help a lot. Certainly.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's replicant save files aren't always going to be one-to-one, because of just there's so many variables that comes into stuff. Yeah, usually with linear games it's way easier because you're like, all right, I got to this part of the game. It's like, okay, cool.
Right.
But if it's like a big RPG where it's like, oh, I had these items, I had this, you're like, yeah, that's gonna be tough.
Yeah. And I sure hope people, because I assume it's not like the biggest game in the world that you try to manage, because they'll have a huge community that you can't even do the biggest game in the world get this level of personalized, like taken care of.
No, that would be it really depends on which company you're working for, which developer or publisher you're working for. If usually like in the indie scene, which is where I specialize, it would be a lot more personable, as opposed to AAA studios would be, they'd have a full customer support team.
Right. Right.
They kind of go through support tickets and stuff as opposed to just, talking to the person one-on-one.
Right. And I sure hope for those indie games, people don't take this opportunity to abuse the system. Yeah. And I hope that hasn't happened to you.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Usually the communities are very
pretty
nice.
Especially a small community. I think it's pretty tight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. That's a lot of stuff that I just dug out from you. Like, does your community, know that you work in the game industry and knows about all these stuff, or did we just happen to discover them?
I would say I've probably mentioned it, here and there, but it's not something I
talked about to this degree.
Yeah.
That's why I love the podcast. Like it really enables us to talk about things and the things we can talk about, of course. But it's really interesting. I hope people find this valuable or meaningful. Like this is some special experience we don't get from our day-to-day life, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And where was I? Because I have the page pulled up. So this is, I don't know if you've checked it out. This is my page for Spacetalk. So, what do you think?
Let me see.
Okay, ignore the numbers because it's like relatively new. Okay, it's like
yeah.
barely moving, and I'm not hard pushing this Twitter page. So.
No, I think the branding is pretty clear. I don't see too much of a problem here. Definitely not.
Yeah, I mean, not. Yeah, if there are problems, I'd love to hear. But like, I'm not just focused on problems, or it's just like, feel free to.
No, it looks nice. It definitely looks nice. It looks like it looks like something that definitely stands out in terms of, it's a very clean logo, clean banner.
Nice to hear.
It's very clear and concise, I would say.
Yeah, I really draw some inspirations from some very clean design. Draw inspiration from The First Take, if you know them.
I don't know.
Oh, they're really good. You should check them out. They're okay. This is a Sony, I think. Either founded or something, powered, whatever kind of.
Oh, cool.
Team that brings on famous singers to come on to do one take singing. So there's only one take and is a recording, and that's it after the recording, and I could post it.
That's pretty cool.
And recently they just had such a lovely group on. I love them so much. They did such a wonderful job. Jesus, if I click this button, I'm gonna die right now. Copyrighted, but yeah, nice. I sure drew a lot of inspiration from their, template and their branding. There's lots of similarities.
Yeah,
I know. I hope I won't
cool.
get blamed, by copying their stuff. Like it's different, but it's quite similar. And I just got this working. This is like a picture, but there's a link embedded into it. So you can click on this picture and it redirects it to the YouTube page. I just figured out how to do that a certain way. Yeah, and this is the way I compose my tweets. This is my template.
Yeah, definitely good. Yeah, very.
Thanks.
You definitely got something going there for sure.
Yeah, I was just like, if I can get some help from you to like improve my branding across all sorts of platforms and stuff, that's definitely a plus. I feel like we should definitely talk more about this and then managing the community and stuff going forward. So glad I met you. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I can see.
I gotta start putting in more work into, as much as I work with Twitter on a daily basis, my VTuber Twitter is lacking. I usually, because people, VTubers tweet so much. I'm very not like that. I'm very like, oh man, like, how can you just tweet about just random things? Like, my brain doesn't work like that. So I gotta be better with it.
Like, kind of concerning. I mean, people spend time all day on Twitter, like this is their life. When people go off Twitter, some like accomplished people go off Twitter and they feel so much better. And they realize like how meaningful Twitter was. It's like even I just listened to a Joe Rogan episode, and the guest talked about like they realized how even though there are great benefits of Twitter, the sense of okay, I'm gonna have a conversation, I'm gonna have an argument with someone, you know, on Twitter we're gonna share similar thoughts, controversial thoughts, and have a conclusion or a greater finding afterwards. But then like he thinks all the negative adding up are greater than the positive, so that you know the net result is not worth it. But then we see VTubers and dedicating their life on Twitter, and it's like, and then haters. I mean, like, what do you even call them? Like people who are toxic people on Twitter. You know, it gets out of control. Like there's so many of them. You can always find people who just says the most ridiculous things you wouldn't expect. On the internet. That's the internet. It allows people to have a completely different mindset when they're online and not being anonymous. It's crazy. Yeah, I am a conservative tweeter. I don't tweet at all. Like that's why my Twitter kind of died, and those followers became like kind of ghost followers, as I would describe them. I mean, like it feels like I have like 100 to 200 followers instead of 500 something.
Yeah,
it feels wrong. That like they've just disappeared. Also, the algorithm is weird because my friend yesterday just told me some of their friends' tweets are not showing up on their timeline. They have to personally find them. They wonder if they stopped tweeting, but the reality is they've been tweeting. It's just they're not showing up on their timeline. And then
Twitter's been weird.
Yeah, did you hear the news that in a couple days we're gonna disappear on the face of the front page of Twitter? Elon.
Yeah.
Do you really desperately need money this badly? Like it's gonna kill us. This is gonna kill us. I guess like I thought you were doing well, you know. I thought you were really saving the company. Like I still think they're making progress in less than the amount that they lose every day, because they were losing like 4 million a day or something like that.
Crazy.
Yeah, but this is definitely their move to gain more money, you know, to decrease the loss. Because if you want to be seen, period, then you gotta pay. Like what the hell, man? Yeah, it's definitely not fair for us. Whew. But then this is, oh my gosh, this is the first kind of like concept render that I did for Spacetalk.
Oh wow, yeah. I like that. It's a good tease.
Yeah, like I just wanted to have something that could stand out, but like in reality nothing stood out, you know. Like whoa, look at that. That 16.1K. That's crazy. Probably because I did a little like promo stuff, but yeah, learn how to do it, and I sort of did this. Was pretty happy about this. Had to come up with a font and the coloring and all that. I mean, overall pretty happy. Like, man, but like
it's looking good.
Yeah, we've just started, you know, building the brand, and nothing's really been going on, and we only have like 4 videos on. I just premiered this video yesterday. 57 views. Okay. The views are pretty inconsistent, and this is the branding of my channel, by the way.
Yeah, it's good. I like it.
Thanks.
Consistent branding is super important.
Yeah. How much do you think that the logo is worth? That includes like this, because this is the part of the logo. You know, it's not just a font; it's a custom design.
I don't know. It's tough because I recently watched a video about like top 5 most expensive logos. And my logo pricing is completely skewed.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Because like you could look at the most simplistic thing, and that will cost like multiple $1,000s to like $10,000. You know, like, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's wild. So I have no idea.
Wild guess?
Wild guess, maybe 200 to 300.
Holy shit, man! you really know what you're talking about.
Oh, really?
You were like spot on.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I really did a lot of revisions on that. And
Yeah,
actually,
it's
this
really
color
cool.
was like my own color. They came out with like a different color, but I was like, man, I really want to incorporate like some of my own color schemes, like the kind of blue that we'll see
Yeah.
are all around, like here, you know,
Yeah.
like which is my color scheme.
That's
So
cool.
now we see this blue themed logo with this. I really like the fade in the middle. This like, I don't know if you see it, but this gradient,
Oh yeah,
yeah, that was like my touch.
that's super
Sort
cool.
of. I put
like
the
it.
I wanted a black background, but I want to separate from the black background. So I put a gradient.
Yeah,
It's pretty subtle. I think it worked out. And
it's nice.
yeah, and that's your look at my branding for
Nice.
the podcast. I don't know. As someone who's experienced in promoting and stuff. Yeah, like I definitely struggled a lot with my own VTuber promotion. Like when I have something big that I want to promote,
Yeah.
a lot of VTubers gain great attractions, and I can
Yeah.
almost never. So I don't know what's going on.
I feel
like,
the same too.
oh, really?
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I have a couple of planned events this year as well, and I'm kind of like, all right, what's the best way to approach, you know, announcing something like this? So, you really got to kind of just do your research into, even like something as specific as like posting times. You know, can be a make or break. So it's tough to really think of the best way to announce something. So.
Yeah, it's really annoying how you have to think about it in order to get the attention that it deserves, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like you really need to go out to this length to I don't know, to formulate this thing so that gains the most attractions. It's not even about the thing itself, right? Like it's sort of like the thumbnails you would have for videos.
Yeah.
You have to have like a cringy thumbnail or the thumbnail that gets the most attention. That's by definition the best thumbnail for your video is the one that gets the most attention. Otherwise, your video is gonna go to waste. It's really sad how this system has to work this way. But that's what we gotta do.
Yeah.
But do you feel like do you have an advantage? You know, you stand in the high ground, being someone who's worked in this industry and has experience in promotion and stuff.
I don't know. I mean, I guess in a sense, yeah, but I think what balances it out for me is my inexperience in the VTuber community.
Do you feel like it's really different?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that work in the VTuber community that don't work,
Yeah,
you know,
of
in
course.
any other community.
What about vice versa? Like because you're from the industry, you take something from the industry and you apply it here, which is where everyone's indie. Wouldn't that just like make yourself stand out and make yourself look professional? That I would think so.
I guess it would depend on how you. I mean, I think for me maybe like something like asset creation or like I mentioned, like how to structure a tweet. Those things are easily transferable. Like if I was to announce something on Twitter, I'd need to draft out a copy. I'd need to create an asset. I need to make sure the asset is like perfectly, you know, aligned and like has all the information that it needs to on it.
Right. It has to be concise so that people so that it fits within the people's attention span, but it also conveys all the necessary information that you need for them.
Then I need to think about
click.
posting times.
Yeah, exactly.
And, you know, all that stuff. So I think skills like that transfer over. But yeah, it's a very interesting environment to be in. Because
Definitely.
you could see stuff. You could see someone post something in the VTuber community that logically makes no sense, but just gets a lot of traction, and you're like, "Whoa!"
Oh my gosh! What do you feel after seeing stuff like that?
I don't know. I'm just baffled, right? It's like
Yes.
like
Like,
you're
what
like,
the
whoa, like you know, you see this guy with like I don't know 500, like 600 followers, 500 followers, and then they have like 10,000 likes on their posts, and you're like, huh? Like what happened here? What caused this to
really
go like
weird.
parabolic?
It's like I've been keep mentioning the effort slash reward ratio doesn't make sense. I mean, there's not even a ratio. They don't even connect, right? Like, I really hope like that the industry works this way. The amount of effort you put in, the amount of thoughts you put in, really equal to the outcome. But it doesn't work that way unless you're a big studio. I mean, oh my god.
And I've seen that firsthand with like covers and stuff. You know, covers like you put in a lot of effort into, you know, recording, getting it mixed, getting it like into like a music video, and then posting it on YouTube, and it gets like, you know, 50 views.
No views.
And you're like,
oh my gosh. I have some
like, oh.
really talented
Okay.
Udaited friends. Udaites are people who sing on YouTube. Posting, I mean, they're really talented. I have some Udaited friends that I know. And they're like pretty small. They're growing. I'm really happy seeing them grow. But there's so many of them that deserve way more attention. Because they don't do stuff. Like, they don't promote. They don't have proper stuff set up. They're not VTubers. You know, it's really sad. And that, I mean, hopefully by putting my own work into it, many years from now, I will be in a position where I can, like, help out some of those people who much deserve attention. I hope. Because I didn't have the opportunities back in the days, like right now.
Yeah.
You know? So I hope in the future. Well, do you have anything? Wait, I understand. What time is it? It's like...
We've gone a little overboard, but it's
yeah, you sort of have to start stream. I understand at around this time. Then
yeah, I usually stream at 8, but it's good. It's good.
Damn, what are you streaming today?
I don't know. It was.
I love how free you are. Like, I love your freedom that you get. You're not constrained by a schedule. Do you like write? Oh, today I'm gonna stream this game.
Yeah, no, I post schedules. I post, you know, like, I think I had Dying Light 2 on my schedule this, like, for today, but I kind of want to play Yakuza. So it's like, I guess I'll play Yakuza.
Yeah.
You know, I'm very free flowing in terms of what I play.
So like sometimes you'll play a different game than it says on the schedule?
Sometimes is an understatement. Yeah, quite frequently.
Yeah, so I'm really happy about your community because like they're used to, you know, you being this way, so they're not gonna like blame you every time you know don't adhere to your schedule. I think like that is definitely a plus. Like I wish if I had a community 100%. They were like that. You know, I mean, mostly they won't care, but like for most people, especially people with large communities, they really have to stick to what they write on the schedule. I mean, that's a constraint. I mean, I love how free you can be. It's like I don't really feel like playing this today, like playing this game that's on the schedule. What will turn out, you know, a stream with less potential, with less quality than a stream where I would play the game that I actually want to play today, you know, even if it's not on the schedule.
I always value my enjoyment and my authenticity over something I planned earlier in the week.
And your community definitely contributes a lot, like the understanding they have towards you as a streamer. That's the best kind of community you can have.
Yeah,
right.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm able to sit down with you today. This is
of course.
Surprisingly fun, and it's really unexpected. The stuff
definitely.
you had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. It was. I'm very impressed with all of the production value that you have. It's really cool.
Oh, thank you so much. I mean,
I love it. It's very cool.
There's some people. There are only some people that have commented on this. It's like I've worked on this for like 3 months straight. Yeah, right? It's hard work, and I mainly worked on this myself.
Yeah,
like this. I designed the studio. This is my design, and everything.
Yeah.
So awesome. It's really great hearing compliments like that. It's like it's all worth it. It's like that's all I need to hear, right? Yeah, the production value, because like people, I hope people see the production value in this thing, and like the conversation. Plus the conversation has to be interesting, and I totally think today's conversation has been pretty meaningful. Like, and all of this adding up, like this channel holds some value, you know, like it deserves some subs. At least at some point, it's still taking baby steps. Yeah. Hope at some point people can pick up on the production value and really just tune into it.
Absolutely.
All right. I guess that's all the time we have for today. What is going on? Hold on a second. Okay. There we go.
We're good. I'm alive.
6th episode is gonna. Yeah, we do a weekly schedule, so you've probably seen the 5th episode last week, and you're gonna see the next episode coming next week. All right. Bye, guys.
See you later.
Holy shit. Yeah, that was fun. Press the wrong button.